Ever wondered what goes into that glass of milk or that chicken curry? Today, we're going deep into the world of India's livestock sector. We'll uncover some surprising realities and explore potential solutions. Based on a 2021 research article, it's from the Journal of Entomology and Zoology Studies, titled Challenges in the Indian Livestock Sector and Suggested Interventions. An overview.
It's a fascinating sector, deeply interwoven with the lives of millions, and crucial to India's economy and food security.
Right. The article highlights how livestock is integral to agriculture, essential for nutrition, and provides livelihoods for a huge chunk of the population. We're talking nearly 9% of the workforce. But here's a surprising fact. India has the largest livestock population globally, yet contributes just 18.6% of global milk production.
That contrast really highlights that there are some underlying challenges in the sector. It's like having a huge factory, but it's not operating at full capacity.
That's a great analogy. So what's holding things back?
Well, the article dives into several challenges. One of the most pressing is the prevalence of diseases, especially those listed by the World Organization for Animal Health, or OIE. These diseases are significant enough to warrant international reporting due to their potential impact on animal and even human health.
And these OIE-listed diseases, they aren't just a threat to animal health, they pack a serious economic punch too, right?
Absolutely. Take foot-and-mouth disease, for instance. It costs India an estimated 12,000 to 14,000 crore annually. That's a massive financial burden.
Wow, that's a huge amount. What can be done about it?
The article suggests several interventions, like strengthening disease reporting systems. Imagine if we could detect outbreaks earlier and respond faster. Then there's the need for widespread vaccination programs, and of course, improving veterinary infrastructure across the country.
It sounds like a multifaceted problem that needs a multifaceted solution. And unfortunately, disease outbreaks aren't the only challenge facing India's livestock sector, are they?
No, there's another pressing concern that might surprise you: antibiotic resistance.
Oh, right. I've heard about that in a human health context.
Well,
But how does it relate to livestock?
it's all connected. The overuse and misuse of antibiotics in animal agriculture are major contributors to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. This is a global concern, and India is no exception.
So what we do on farms in India can actually have global repercussions. That's a pretty unsettling thought.
It really underscores the interconnectedness of things. The article points out that India's antibiotic use in animals is projected to increase drastically by 2030. This has huge implications for human health, as antibiotic residues can end up in the food we consume through a farm-to-table pathway.
That's worrying. It sounds like responsible antibiotic use is crucial.
Exactly. The article emphasizes the importance of regulating antibiotic sales more strictly, making sure they're only used when absolutely necessary and prescribed by qualified veterinarians. It's about promoting judicious use, not eliminating antibiotics entirely.
Makes sense. We need to find a sustainable balance to protect both animal and human health. So far, we've uncovered two major challenges: disease outbreaks and antibiotic resistance. But there's another crucial aspect we haven't touched upon yet: the environmental impact.
You're right, we can't ignore the environmental footprint of livestock farming, especially when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions.
And the article points the finger at methane as a major culprit, right?
Exactly. Methane, a potent greenhouse gas, is released in significant quantities from livestock, particularly from their digestion. What's concerning is that India is a leading contributor to these global livestock methane emissions.
Wow. I knew it was an issue, but I didn't realize India was that high on the list. It makes you think about the scale of things, doesn't it?
It does. And while some might point to livestock population growth as the sole driver, the issue is much more nuanced.
So it's not just about how many animals we have, but how we manage them.
Precisely. The article highlights several strategies to mitigate methane emissions, such as improving feed quality and manure management practices.
I've read a bit about India's Gobar Jan scheme. How does that fit into the picture?
That's a great example of a step in the right direction. Gobar Dan, which stands for Galvanizing Organic Bioagro Resources, Dan, promotes the conversion of livestock dung and farm waste into valuable resources like compost and biogas.
So it's a win-win, reducing pollution and creating something useful in the process. That's encouraging. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the people behind this massive industry, the farmers themselves. The article delves into the economic realities they face, particularly when it comes to milk pricing.
Yes, that's a critical aspect. Ensuring fair compensation for dairy farmers, while keeping milk affordable for consumers is a delicate balancing act.
It sounds like a real challenge. What factors contribute to these milk pricing struggles?
Well, the article points out a significant gap between production costs and earnings for many farmers. Input costs,
Mm.
like feed and fodder, have
Mhm.
been on the rise, putting pressure on already tight margins.
Yeah.
On top of that, inadequate market infrastructure, limited access to credit, and price volatility all add to the complexity.
It's a lot to navigate. Are there any solutions on the horizon that could improve this situation?
The article highlights the role of stronger dairy cooperatives as a potential game changer. By empowering farmers to work together, these cooperatives can increase their bargaining power and improve market access, ultimately leading to better prices.
That makes a lot of sense. Strength in numbers. What about government intervention? Can policy play a role here?
Absolutely. Some states are already exploring direct incentives for farmers, especially during periods of surplus production when prices tend to plummet. These safety nets can provide much-needed stability for farmers.
So it seems like a multi-pronged approach involving collective action, policy support, and better market structures is key to creating a more equitable dairy sector. But the challenges don't end there, do they? The article also mentions low adoption rates of artificial insemination, feed and fodder shortages,
Yeah.
and a lack of adequate livestock extension services.
You're bringing up some crucial points. Let's unpack them one by one, starting with artificial insemination, or AI. This technology is a game changer for breed improvement.
And when we talk about breed improvement, we're talking about selecting for traits that result in healthier, more productive animals, right?
Exactly. However, despite the potential benefits, AI adoption rates in India remain low due to factors like limited access to quality semen, a lack of awareness among farmers, and the inadequate availability of trained inseminators, especially in remote areas.
It sounds like we need to bridge that knowledge gap and make these technologies more accessible to the farmers who need them. What about the issue of feed and fodder shortages? That sounds like a pretty fundamental problem.
It is. Insufficient and poor quality feed directly impacts animal health and productivity, creating a ripple effect throughout the entire sector. Then there's the lack of robust livestock extension services.
And these extension services are all about getting vital information
Technique.
and resources directly into the hands of the farmers, right?
Exactly. Think of it as a bridge connecting scientific knowledge with practical application on the ground.
It seems like addressing these challenges will be crucial to unlocking the full potential of India's livestock sector. What stood out to you as the most crucial takeaway from the article?
I think what's really crucial is recognizing that there are no easy fixes, no silver bullets.
So it's about looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about understanding the interconnectedness of these challenges and adopting a holistic approach to finding solutions.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like we need to be thinking about the health of the entire ecosystem,
Yeah.
not just individual parts in isolation.
Precisely. And the article does highlight some encouraging advancements that could play a significant role in this transformation.
Like what are some of these advancements?
Well, take sex-sorted semen technology, for example. It might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's a game changer for dairy farmers.
Okay. And you're going to have to break this one down for me. How does it work and why is it so impactful?
Imagine being able to choose whether your cow gives birth to a male or a female calf. That's precisely what sex-sorted semen technology allows farmers to do. By selecting for female calves, dairy farmers can increase their herd's milk production more efficiently, ultimately boosting their incomes and improving overall efficiency.
That's incredible. It sounds like this technology has the potential to revolutionize the dairy industry.
It certainly does. And then there are advancements in areas like breeding programs, focusing on developing disease-resistant and climate-resilient livestock breeds. We're also seeing a growing emphasis on precision livestock farming, using technology to monitor animal health, optimize feeding, and even detect early signs of disease outbreaks.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a technological revolution in livestock farming, but technology alone isn't enough, is it? We also need to empower the people at the heart of it all, the farmers.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, and that's where robust livestock extension services come in. By providing farmers with the latest scientific knowledge, practical training, and access to crucial resources, we can empower them to make informed decisions and adopt sustainable practices.
So it's about bridging that gap between research and real-world application. It seems like there's a lot to be optimistic about. But are there any final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with?
The future of India's livestock sector hinges on a collective effort. It requires innovation, collaboration, and a commitment to sustainability from all stakeholders. policymakers, scientists, veterinarians, farmers, and even consumers. The choices we make today will determine the future of this vital sector.
That's a powerful message. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping a more sustainable and equitable future for India's livestock sector. If you're listening and you've ever enjoyed a glass of milk or a delicious chicken curry, remember that it's a story that extends far beyond your plate. It's a story of farmers, animals, the
Right.
environment, and the interconnectedness of it all. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.